Can you hear Gaia whispering? Hello, it's us. And Gaia is here this week. We missed you last week.
Good.
Yeah, we did. We really missed. I missed you. I think people missed you.
Hello. I'm here in spirit and body.
You are. You're in body, and it's a slightly bigger body now because we've just been eating cheese, haven't we?
No.
This is the food and drink and introduction to the weekly webinar. We've just been eating cheese and bread, the most delicious cheese I've ever tasted in my life. What was it?
Provolone.
Provolone.
It's a huge round cheese.
Yeah.
They cut with a big knife.
Yeah, it was delicious. So we are on this, the last of the 12 webinars. So welcome to this last evening. And yeah.
But something we can say about this one, because it is the 12th of a series, you can actually use it to make a commitment to yourself, to make a choice as you listen to this one, and you went through a whole process and you looked at different stuff, and you know, things grow over time. And as this is the last webinar, you can use it to make a choice and a commitment to yourself to start living the fucking life. So as we take you through it, you can also use all that we say and all that you experience and all that you get from what we're going to speak about tonight as a way to choose that from now on you will ... In
What
terms
was
of people can fill it in.
Oh, I see.
In terms of living the fucking life more.
Yeah.
So that's what I think tonight can be about.
I just don't want people to take it too literally.
What?
Well, if you say, I want you to, from now on, to ... people, if they took it literally, they get a pen, like a marker or something, and start dotting everything, dotting tables and bits of paper.
It's not such a bad idea.
It's a nice art project.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a list of points, and if Gaia wanders off, I'll bring us back to the list of points, because the list of points are around fucking seeing, aren't they? Ooh. We're doing this as well from a new computer, which is very lovely, but it occasionally makes funny noises that you might hear. So let's start with a little exercise, shall we?
Yes.
So please get pen paper out. I want to draw, as well as write something, I want you to draw something this week. So probably best to get pen and paper for this. So yeah, in this webinar about fuck it seeing in a very fuck it way, which is hopefully the way you can go out and start living the fuck it life. We'd like to think about, do this exercise first, just think about somebody that is very fuck it. Maybe somebody you know, maybe a celebrity. Maybe you know a celebrity who is fuck it. But somebody that's really fucking, it could be somebody you just make up as well. You just imagine somebody, but imagine them of the same sex as you. I.e., if you're a woman, think of a woman you know who is very fuck it, or imagine a woman who is very fuck it. And we want you to draw that person. Okay, so just a quick kind of stick drawing or a quick drawing of that person, and start to imagine what they're like as in their fuck it qualities. So, you know, is it that they're kind of very relaxed, or they're sitting down or lying down as you draw them, or what is it about them that's fuck it? So draw them out, and then start to kind of mark what their fuck it qualities are. So it might be that you draw a little arrow to their hands and say they've got very soft hands. Very soft, fuck it, relaxed hands. It might be that you draw an arrow to their shoulders and go, they're so relaxed and fuck it that their shoulders are just soft.
You can draw one next to their brain and describe how they think, how they talk next to their mouth, how they feel next to their heart.
Yeah. Maybe they've got a red nose, they've drunk too much, said fuck it too many times and got drunk too many times. So how is this person that you're imagining? how are they, fuck it? What do they do? What's their physical qualities? How do they think?
How do they behave?
Yeah.
How do they make choices? Just write a lot of notes around what they're like, what it is like to be fuck it.
And by the way, do put a little pair of glasses on them as well. Could be like normal glasses, could be sunglasses, could be glasses just for vanity. Just little empty glasses without any lenses in. Or just glass lenses.
3D glasses?
Yeah. So you're drawing away, you're making all these points out for this person.
The drawing doesn't have to be pretty, it can be a stick person.
Okay? And once you've done that, we'd like you to close your eyes and just imagine for a moment that you are that person. You can just kind of relax down, take a few deep breaths. You're getting good at this by this time, by this part of the course, at relaxing very quickly. And just imagine that you're floating out of your body and into the body of this either real person that you know or imaginary person or celebrity, whatever it is. So you're inside that person's head and body. And just notice what it's like when you're there. Notice what you feel like. Notice what you feel like in your body. Do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more expansive? Notice what you're thinking about. Maybe your kind of attitude has changed substantially or subtly, but you kind of care less maybe. So notice what you're feeling, notice what you're thinking. And you can notice, if you want, the changes, the difference between how you're thinking and feeling now and the way that you normally think and feel. And then, lastly, looking through those glasses, or sunglasses, just notice how you're seeing the world. Maybe you could stick yourself in a situation, in a busy shopping centre or an office, or on holiday, wherever it is you want. Just put yourself in a situation and notice how you're looking at the world. How are you looking at the world? What are you thinking as you look out at the world? What different ways of thinking are you, or seeing, are you experiencing compared to how you would normally see and experience? Maybe you're noticing more things. Maybe things are more beautiful. What's it like being more fuck it, more relaxed than you normally are? Okay? And then, is there anything else?
No.
So then, just kind of say thank you for that experience of just being that extremely fuck it person, and just come back out of their body, mind, and back into yourself. And we're doing this quite quickly because you can do this stuff quite quickly now. You can move between things very quickly. So go back to your piece of paper and write down what it was like to think, feel, but mainly write down what it was like to see through the eyes of the fuck it person. What was it like to see through the eyes and, in the end, glasses of that fuck it person? And by the way, the fuck it person that you've just experienced being has just taken their glasses off and put them on a little table near where you are. And whilst you're thinking about this, you grab those glasses and you put them on your head. You know, like you do when you're out in the sunshine, you just want to take your glasses off, you just slip them off. Okay, so we are, I'm going a bit slowly now so that you can write those things down. But we're going to take you through 8 aspects that we think are associated with fuck it seeing, seeing the world in a fuck it way. Okay? And we're going to experience each of those as we go as well. And this also helps to bring together a lot of what we've investigated in the last 11 weeks of the webinar. So some of these things will be familiar and you'll recognize, and some of them will be new. But it brings it all together in a way that we can go out there and start to live our lives and see the apparent external reality in a more fuck it way. Pretty much like that fuck it person that we've just worked with sees life. Okay? And let's see as well if what we go through is similar to the list that you've just written down, or there's any links between those two things. So the first thing is open seeing. And that means seeing more. So, I mean, just literally, if you sit there, as you sit there now, when you look out through your eyes, you can focus on something. So I'm looking at the door handle in front of me about 3 meters away. I can either focus on that, or I can really relax myself and my eyes, and I can take in a lot more, so I get a lot more peripheral vision and really kind of soften. So there's a literal quality to this, which is that we kind of open our vision, so we kind of take in more. But this also applies to everything that we take in. It's not just about seeing. Basically, the way that our brains work is that we take in and we process a tiny proportion of all the information that's coming in, and information is measured in bits of information. So any moment there are billions of bits of information coming at us in a variety of forms, energy and frequency and thoughts and information in many different forms. And we only we filter it basically. We block most of it out, a bit like I can do by just looking at the door handle in front of me. I'm blocking out everything else apart from that door handle. We block most of it out and just take in a little bit based on, number one, what we've already experienced. So we see based on what we already know. So it's very difficult to take in new things. And also based on our ideas about what we want to experience.
Yeah, our plans.
Yeah.
So we end up really restricting what we see as possible.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of openness, functioning from our plans and what we already know and how we assume or thought before that things should go. So open seeing and open experiencing, it's just a kind of availability. Just imagine yourself closed, and then it's like your vision gets massive and you're open. So you remain open. You don't need to fix or hone down what's happening. Not straight away.
You don't need to go in with an agenda. Most of us go into everything with an agenda. Even walking into our kitchen, we have an agenda of putting the kettle on and making the toast. We meet anybody, we have an agenda with them. What can we get from this person for us? You know, what are we getting out of this moment?
So staying open means staying open. Things happen and you can see and feel straight away the part of you that wants to know what it is about, what to do about, how you're going to feel tomorrow, not just how you're going to feel, how you're feeling now. And there is a possibility of open seeing and open being in there, to just choose to stay open now, and then stay open again and stay open again, till things somehow start speaking to you, or till you start getting some ideas of what's happening without having looked too hard for it. And in a way, this is, you know, this is the point one of these 8 points we're going to take you through. But if you just did that, if you just chose when you go around to see things openly, your life would completely changed. Would be completely changed. So let's actually experience that.
Yeah.
Remember that you are, as you're sitting there, you have the
Bucket glasses.
bucket glasses on your head.
Yeah.
You're not wearing them yet, because I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment and float, just relax, take a couple of breaths and feel yourself floating up in the air. And as you float, you relax even more deeply. And I'd like you in a moment to land. And when you land in one of those situations in your life, possibly recurrent situations, where you usually close down, where you feel closed, not open. So you open your eyes and you find yourself in that situation. You got this bucket glasses on the top of your head, and you tend in this situation to close down, to have a very limited view. So if you watch yourself behaving like that, closed down, fixed, just notice the things you think, or how you're moving, or what you're saying, how you're acting, and what's happening around you, what are the people like. You probably recognize the feelings in your body really well. And then I like you to put those glasses on, move them from the top of your head, put them on your nose. And as you do so, really open your eyes and look at the situation with open seeing through the bucket glasses. And just experience for a moment what it is like to be open in that situation, to see things openly. Just notice how your thinking changes, how you relax, how you actually look at things in a different way. How you need less to know what's going to happen next. How you get more curious. How you're happier to be there and see how things develop. You really experience what it is like in your body to be open and not need to know it all right now. In fact, how exciting it can be to be open and see what happens, to let people and life do the work rather than you. It's probably nice already in there. Okay, we've got a few more things to explore. Yes. So just for a moment, put those glasses back on top of your head. You can keep them on while we talk the next one. But just when we go back to the experience, we want you to notice the difference. So keep them on for now. And we're going to talk about the next point. Number two.
Relaxed seeing.
Yes.
So we talked about relaxation a lot during this course. We've shared with you ideas of Qigong, which is mainly about relaxation. Most recently you've seen the videos on meditation, which is mainly about relaxation. So relaxation, pretty obvious. relaxation of the bodies. It's relaxing the muscles. It's relaxing the mind, slowing down the mind. And when we're relaxed, we have a switch, as well as many different physiological changes that happen in our bodies with the breath and the heart rate and the blood pressure, the release of different hormones. The key thing that happens too is they switch from the autonomic nervous system, from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system. So a switch from the kind of emergency nervous system, the fight or flight, the nervous system that, the resting nervous system, the one that allows us to heal. So there's a softening. So what's relaxed seeing like? Yes, I wrote down actually.
That's relaxing. Things are not there to get you. You can relax. It's just an experience. Life is experiencing stuff. So relaxing is not so focused, not so trying, not so obsessed, not so determined.
Not so controlling.
Yeah, it doesn't need to know. It doesn't need to defend all the time. It can be soft focused and open to all possibility. So it's a relaxation of the body, but it's also a relaxation of the perception of life.
We've talked about that when you relax, you switch from, in the brain, the brain at beta frequency to alpha frequency, and that children are in this alpha state most of the time. Hypnotherapists call it the light trance state, but it's just a more relaxed way of being and a more relaxed way of your brain being and a more relaxed way of seeing. So to shortcut this, you can imagine how a child sees. So a child tends to be a lot more present, just kind of seeing what's there rather than having thoughts about the future and the past. The child tends to be more playful.
Yes.
Tends to be more curious. Yeah. So this is relaxed seeing.
So,
Glasses time.
Glasses time. Just take yourself to one of those situations where you're everything but relaxed. And just notice when you're tight and tense and controlling, you just please notice how you see the world out there, how you see people, how you feel events are. Just notice how you judge stuff, how everything seems to be stuff that you need to fight in order to survive when you're tight and tense and worried. Take yourself right into a situation where you're tense, tight and worried, and notice what you're like in those, how you see the world, how you see people, how you interact. And then, magically, you move those funky glasses from the top of your head, you put them nice on your nose so that your eyes see through the relaxed seeing. All that pressure doesn't have to be there. Thank God for that. Oh. Someone, really great lady who's been to our retreat now 3 or 4 times, and she loves it the more she comes. Last week said something absolutely brilliant. She said, it's the first time where I feel it's not me trying to live life, but life feels just a series of open, beautiful experiences. It's just a being experienced through me. So that's kind of relaxed seeing. It's not about conquering stuff. It's about stuff moving through you and you can experience it. So you see yourself, how it is now in that situation. Now you are wearing those glasses, now there is relaxed seeing, how you see people, how you hear them, how you feel what's going on. It's not that important after all. Okay, so keep your glasses on as we'll take you to the next point.
Number 3. Number 3 is non-opinionated seeing. So this is, quite a few people, is a bit of a struggle, I would say. This is looking out through your fuck it seeing glasses, your fuck it glasses, and not judging everything all the time. This is not instantly judging people or situations or things that are happening. It's not walking through down the high street complaining about everything in your head, slagging people off, wondering why it's so messy. It's not analysing all the time. It's not taking everything apart. It's not tagging everything as good or bad. It's not tagging everything as helpful or unhelpful.
Yes, this is stuff we do all the time. Splitting to find our position that makes us feel safe. We think if we know what's right and what's wrong, somehow we know what to do. The reality is that we start finding it very hard to make decisions because they're always based on a strict principle rather than in what we feel in that moment. How fantastic it is to just move rather than from pre-made opinion of something we learned a long time ago or something other people think, to move from how we actually feel about that thing or that experience or that person. Wow, how open that would be, how fresh that would be. So it's time to stop being so interested in what we think and just tune in and see what's really going on there. Okay, let's experience this, the non-opinionated seeing. Man, we're all so opinionated all the time. We got so used to having an opinion about everything. When you listen to people having too many opinions, you feel so bored. So don't do it to yourself. Have less opinions. Ooh, I love that one. So take yourself to one of those situations, one of those places, one of those subjects where you're normally really opinionated. I'm trying to make a point about it. So yeah, float there, drift there, land there, and notice what it is like to need opinions in order to feel okay. This is usually what others require of us. It's as if we demonstrate something by having opinions. I say bollocks to that. So just hear yourself. You probably bore yourselves in that. And then, on all those opinions and those needing to know things and needing to show things, show that you know, you just put those glasses on your nose and look through them. And you open to the non-opinionated seeing. And you see yourself in the same situation where before you were compelled to say your bit so that everyone knows that you're clever and you know how things work. You move into the non-opinionated seeing. You don't have to say a thing or demonstrate a thing. You don't have to let people know that you know it because you do. It's enough. Imagine, feel it, not needing to split what's right or wrong, or doable, or done, or acceptable. non-opinionated seeing. Just notice what it is like in your body, in your breathing, in your thinking, that you're not interested in your opinion. Okay, keep those glasses on for now. We don't want to shake you out of that lovely state. We'll take you through to the next point.
Which is number 4, perspective seeing. So seeing with perspective. Somebody on another recent Fuck It retreat reminded me of a bit in the first book I wrote, which is quite a long time ago now, about this perspective machine that I talked about. Yeah. But most of us can't see the wood for the trees. We're in the trees, and we can get in this perspective machine and kind of go up above everything and start to see things as if from a distance. And that's because many of our problems come from being close up, facing things and taking things very seriously, and being very heavy about the things that are there, including the things that in the end don't matter so much. So the kind of key thing around Fuck It is a realization that a lot of the things that we worry about don't, in the grand scheme of things, matter so much. And so a key part of Fuck It is about getting perspective. So what's it like to get perspective over something? You may have explored this when you've been looking at meditation. In meditation, we talked about, and it's a common teaching in meditation, which is this thing of objective seeing, a kind of, how would you describe it in meditation? Just coming back.
Yeah, so detached.
Yeah, a detached form of seeing. So instead of just being in the thoughts that are happening in your head, being in the judgment or the list planning for the day, you kind of bring yourself back a little bit from them, and you see the thoughts as if from the outside, as if you're watching the thoughts happening in your head, as if you're watching the thoughts as if, for example, they're clouds drifting across the sky. So what's it like to get a sense of perspective over every single moment that you're experiencing? So this could be like looking at yourself or your thoughts as if from a distance, as if you're somebody else, and that can give you a nice sense of detachment. It could be like looking at your life as if from the distance of time. So most of us know that in 1 year's time, many of the things that we're now worrying about will have passed, will have not be, will be changed, we'll not be thinking about anymore. Even some of the things that we will be thinking about in 10 years' time, we probably won't, most likely won't. In 50 years' time, pretty sure not. In 100 years' time, we certainly won't be thinking about it. So this is perspective.
And from that place, everything feels less important, less rushed, less immediate, or with an immediate need of being resolved. And it feels lighter, even when things may be pretty difficult. So let us go there together. Float away. If you can relax even more than you probably are now. Yeah, see if you can just bring together the feelings of a situation where you normally kind of overwhelmed. You feel like right in the middle of it, crushed by that situation. Just let yourself just for a moment be in that, where everything seems to be weighing over you. And then put those glasses of the perspective seeing, put them on your nose, look at the situation through those, and feel yourself just somehow floating a little bit out of those crushing feelings, of those feelings that things are going to be always the same, and why is it happening to you again, and when things completely take over and we feel limited. And see them for what they are. You may even see that you're fretting and feeling overwhelmed about things you don't care so much about. Just let yourself make your conclusions as you look from this different perspective seeing the stuff that before you took very seriously, and you allowed to crash you to a place where you felt there was no way out. Oh. And then suddenly you start noticing how much you love life again. That things are not impossible. All of that because this new seeing. Hey, okay, keep those glasses on. Let's hear the next one.
Number 5, self-accepting or self-loving. We've talked about self-love as part of this series of webinars on Living the Fuck It Life. There's a key affirmation that Louise Hay uses in her original book about healing, which is the affirmation that the idea is that you say it again and again, which is, I love and approve of myself. So you go around saying, I love and approve of myself. You say 100 times a day. And I did this a long time ago, 15 years ago, every day saying, I love and approve of myself, I love and approve of myself. And what happens is it brings up all the truth of how you actually are, the truth of the fact that you probably don't love and approve of yourself, that you criticize yourself a lot, that I criticize myself a lot, that I think I'm an idiot in the things that I do, that I think it's rubbish, that I compare myself to other people, the whole thing. So very few of us properly love and approve of ourselves. In terms of a kind of self-loving or self-approving seeing, what comes to mind for me is less comparison. I think this thing of having not seeing ourselves very well comes out in this constant comparison with other people. Is what we're constantly thinking, oh, look at them. Huh?
Racing with everyone.
Yeah, racing, competing, comparing. I'm not like them, I'm not as good as them. So if we could just use this aspect of our fuck it glasses, this aspect of the self-approving and self-loving, to actually turn that down, turn the volume of that thing down. Imagine what it would be like to wander around, to be in a group of people, to wander down the high street, to be in a meeting, to go to a party, and not to be comparing yourself to other people. To just be there, enjoying the present, maybe being seeing things in an open way, being relaxed, being non-opinionated, which is kind of linked to the lack of comparison, and having a sense of perspective of just seeing that this is a lovely moment, and not constantly going through this thing of feeling yourself lesser than. Imagine that. Why don't we experience that?
Yes. So self-loving, self-approving seeing, embracing who you are without being self-critical, and not assuming you're wrong or faulty every time something is difficult. In fact, going into the opposite of embracing yourself fully and approving of yourself fully. So let yourself float away to one of those situations where you really tell yourself off, where you judge yourself harshly.
Or you compare yourself with other people.
Or you compare yourself to other people. So get yourself in there and notice how you do, what you say, what you feel, how you compare, how you tell yourself off, how you feel inferior, how you feel that you should do better. There's never enough. See all that, feel all that, however unpleasant, the stuff that you make up, so you may as well feel it right now. And then you wear the glasses of self-loving seeing. Seeing with self-love. Same situation, same problems. Even people perhaps judging you at times, or things not working out at times, but seen through the glasses of self-loving. How amazing would it be that even when things may not work out, or when people may be challenging or putting us down, you're seeing it all through self-loving. This means that whatever other people say, you're still self-loving. Because you're seeing the whole situation not from a place of self-criticism and competition, but from a place of self-loving. You're seeing through those glasses, as even imagine someone that's telling you things that you don't like, or telling you off, or putting you down, and you're looking at them through those glasses. It's like it's irrelevant. It's not your problem. Wow, suddenly you're able to stick with yourself rather than abandon and betray yourself and think that others are better, or I got a point. The good news is that you can keep those glasses with you and wear them anytime you want. But for now, as you keep those glasses on, let us take you through the next few points, which are as important.
So number 6 is non-resisting seeing. So we've talked again about this during the course of the webinars, about resistance. So a lot of our pain comes from resistance to what is, to what's actually happening, to how we actually are, to how we feel, to the situation in our life, to the state of the economy, to how people are around us, to our family, to our friends, to loss. So the possibility here in a non-resisting seeing is just to accept what you see through those glasses. Just accept what is as it is. So this is about going with the flow. This is about seeing that things are fine as they are. You could say that they're perfect as they are. It's often difficult to see that things that are causing us pain are perfect, but that things are fine as they are, that they kind of have their place.
So let's experience that. Let yourself, take yourself, float to one of those situations where you find yourself resisting the reality, the situation, what's going on, the person. You know how it feels, the resisting. It's like a tightness inside you that's fighting, and they will just not go with stuff. So feel that, experience that. Notice what you think, notice what you do. Notice the feelings in your body of resisting. And I'm not saying that you need to accept things that don't suit you. But wishing they were something else is not the way forward. You can always choose what you want to do instead without fighting so hard. So wear those glasses now. And look, just look through those glasses at the situations around you, the situations you resist. You can just let them be and walk off, or you can let them be and do what you want. You can let them be and think what you want. You can let them be and feel what you want. No one is forcing you to be the victim of any situation. Situations happen, people happen, things happen. You don't have to resist them. You can see them as they are. And then make you move within them, or outside them, or away from them. Just see that. Just see the same situation, but through the non-resisting glasses. Ah, wow. People have a right to be as they are, and so do you. You don't have to resist them. You go with the flow and you make your own space in that situation. How things are, how people are, situations are, is not necessarily about you, unless you make it so by feeling not good enough. So, you're seeing, you're experiencing through the non-resisting glasses, to the non-resisting seeing. Okay, keep those glasses on.
Number 7, trusting seeing, seeing with trust. So trust is about trusting that things will work out in the end. Trusting is trusting the patterns, trusting the things that happen, going with the flow. Trusting our feelings, not just our thoughts. Trusting the messages that we get, yes, from inside. You know, we've gone through this process of initially turning up, but then turning in and turning out. The main part about turning in was to once more start to listen to the messages that come from inside when we turn in. So if your body is saying, I'm tired, then we trust that message and we sleep. So trust is key, and it's key in the way we look out. We trust the messages that we get and the things that are happening. And I've got a nice example of this from something that's happened to me in the last day. So I'm having to make a big decision about something. I'm not going to tell you the details because anyway, I won't tell you the details at the moment, but something big that could be happening to do with fuck it. And it's a key part of the process. And I had a very disturbed night last night, and I had 2 very significant dreams, which led me to feel as if this project that I could be embarking on was not right. So the dreams were about being out of control, I was in a little boat and I was taken off into the darkness and a current, not knowing where I was going. So I could, as I look at it now, I could interpret these dreams as the dreams you get when you're embarking on a big project. But I think I'm right to interpret the dreams as quite a warning as to what that project could mean. So I've taken it to mean that I shouldn't be doing it, and I'm therefore not going to be doing that project. So I've got a process around anything that I do. I have a process that, yes, is an intellectual process of thinking things through and seeing pros and cons and balancing things up and seeing what I want out of something against what it presents to us as a family and a business. And I've also got feelings going on about that, and the feelings I have arise as feelings in my body as maybe symptoms of illness if I'm working too hard or if something's not right, it doesn't sit right with me. But also I've got my unconscious telling me stuff, and in my opinion my unconscious is also linked to everything. This is where I connect with the whole world and everybody else and the whole universe, and I've therefore got strong messages coming through to me, and I trust those messages. In this case, I trust those dreams, what I'm being told through my dreams. So this is trusting seeing.
So let's experience that, trusting. So again, let yourself float and go and picture yourself in one of the situations where you tend not to trust, to worry, and to think that things won't work out. So see the people that are there, see the place you're in, see what happens when you're not prepared to trust. See how you feel, see what you think. And then you put those glasses on of trusting seeing, seeing with trust. And perhaps the situation is still not a situation that you want, But trusting is a bigger thing. It's not. Sometimes we think we have to trust something that's happening that's not right. Maybe that thing is still not right, but trusting is like widens our vision. Maybe this thing doesn't work, but that doesn't mean that life as a whole doesn't work. So as you look at the situation through the glasses, the trust glasses, wow, check what you see. Check what insights you get. How about that thing that's been hustling you for ages? Let the insights hit you. As you look at it, as you look at your thoughts, as you look at the people, as you look at the situation, through those glasses, those trust glasses, maybe the situation is still not right, or maybe it is. But trust is not about making things, specific things work. It's about seeing that there's always something that can come up or somewhere to go. And making space for that, rather than getting stuck. So observe it for a little bit longer, till I call you back. It's a bit like a child skipping around, really. And then let us take you to the next and final point,
which is 8, fresh seeing. And this kind of takes us on a loop back to number 1, which is the open seeing. But fresh seeing is about recognizing that everything is now. We live in this eternal now. The past and the future are just in our heads. So everything we're experiencing can be entirely fresh. Everything we're experiencing is entirely new. It's a completely new experience by definition. It's there for the first and last time before flash. It's the next first and the last time. So everything can be fresh. So the opportunity is to stop dragging our expectations and prejudices and agenda and our limited seeing and our judgment and our attention and our narrow seeing onto this moment, to see the absolute beautiful newborn baby-like freshness of every single moment of our existence.
Yes. Imagine being fresh like a baby in any situation we go to, so that we can see where the opportunity is. I call it seeing, following where the energy is, rather than following a plan in our heads. It's like looking at the situation and knowing where the place to be is for us, where the gap to move into is, where the space is, rather than kind of wearing very dark glasses that only reflect to us what we expected. And that, at some level, is a way to live life without thinking decisions, but just being guided to decisions by seeing where the movement is. And that is a great place to be. So let's experience that. Take yourself to a place where you keep repeating the same patterns, keep repeating the same decisions, find yourself stuck, where there is nothing fresh, where everything is old and moldy and repeated, and you had it with it. So notice what you like in that. And then, as you look at the situation and the people and the things you think and the things you do that get you stuck and repeating your own old patterns, you wear the glasses of freshness. And the glasses are magical because through those lenses you look at the situation again and you can actually see where the space is, where the fresh space is for you not having to be stuck in doing the same thing over and over again. Just look, just scan the situation and see where the movement is. That's where the energy is. Not in what you wanted, not in what it should have been like, but in what is, where the movement and the space is. You see it and you step into it and you notice what it is like. You wear those glasses, you look at stuff, and you can see what the new fresh movement is. You may be completely out of character, thank God for that, otherwise it would not be fresh. Fresh seeing can be anything that is right in that moment. So you have it.
Yeah. We're nearly out of time. And then we should, so that's, those are the 8 steps of fuck it seeing. We should do a closing visualization, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all that beautiful, open, relaxed, fresh, trusting, self-loving, all those things put together, I'd like you to go back into your drawing, the drawing you did at the beginning, and let yourself be carried into that drawing, into that person you drew, with all those qualities that you listed at the beginning. And as you go into that drawing, and that person with all those fucking qualities, I'd like you to realize that that person is now you. You seeing life magically. You wearing the fucking glasses and having the freedom to move as it feels right for you, to change as life changes, to not have to be stuck with stuff that's irrelevant, to see where the space is and take it. And as you see you being that fucking person, we like to send you off walking, wearing those glasses, walking into life and into your future with those beautiful magical glasses on. And those are glasses you don't just wear on your eyes. They're just right for the whole of you, for your heart, for your feelings, for your thoughts, for your new steps. So you go walking into your new fuck it life, living the fuck it life every moment in the way that suits you, and it may not suit other people, but the important thing is that it's right for you. And this is our gift, isn't it, John?
Mm-hmm.
This is our gift to you, and now becomes your own gift to yourself, because as we said, with this last step is the time you can make a decision, and those decisions one does not go back to. On. Go back on.
It was a lovely moment, but it was a slightly incorrect preposition.
It is good though.
Yeah.
Embrace your imperfections and love it as it is. You're just so cool as you are.
You are.
Yes.
You are, Gaia.
Ah.
So, that's just about it then.
Yeah.
In this officially the last webinar of this series, I wanted to well, thank people first. Thank you for turning up. So you're either listening to this live, or you're listening to it a few days later as a recording, or you're listening to it maybe a couple of months later when you finally got the time to go through the course, and that could happen. So thank you for turning up and listening and taking part in this, and we've kind of felt you out there. Thank you, Gaia, and thank you, John, for doing this and actually really enjoying it. It's been a great journey for us. It's been a journey for all of us, but it's been a great journey for us, hasn't it?
Yes, we loved it.
Yeah, and I think the timing has been perfect as well, 3 months.
Yes. And
to come to this every week and to kind of bring our attention into sharing some of these secrets of how to live the fuck it life has been enlightening for us too. Thank you, Sue, for, and we didn't expect you to say anything, Sue, because I haven't got our headphones on yet, but thank you, Sue, for helping us set everything up. And Sue's been there with us all along in this process, including in all of these webinars, so thank you, Sue. This is the end of, just about the end of the online course, but it is really just the beginning of experiencing life in a different way by putting on these fuck it glasses and starting to implement fuck it. So do use this. I mean, the great thing about the way we set this course up and put the videos and the recordings onto the membership area is that you can access this forever. So if you think, oh goodness, I'm really struggling with the self-love thing, you can go back and listen to the self-love recording. You can go and watch one of those videos that we've done. You can brush up on your qigong or your meditation by listening or looking at anything whenever you want to. It's also be lovely if you join us in our constantly changing and expanding, usually, fuck it journey. So it'd be lovely to see you one day at one of our workshops or one of the fuck it retreats. So I was trying to break into where we're sitting.
Yeah.
So it'd be lovely for you to see you personally one day if we haven't seen you personally already.
Yes.
We've also got a few more videos to put up over the next couple of weeks, which are great. They're called desktop meditations, and they help you to use this stuff from your desktop, actually. So stuff mainly to do with business. So some fuck it tips for doing some things in your work life. So I think that's it. Anything else to say, you, young lady?
Enjoy the miracles.
Enjoy the miracles.
Live the fucking life. It's yours.
It is yours. So thank you, everybody. You go off and enjoy your fuck it seeing. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Sue. Bye-bye.